I'm Idiotech, and this is my review of ABZU for PC. So this game retails for $20 US. It's developed by Giant Squid. The art director is the art director from Flower and Journey. If you like walking simulators, and I know a lot of people don't, this is one of the best I have played. So what is the game? Well, it's an exploration game with some rudimentary puzzle solving, but the core focus here is storytelling and giving the player a beautiful experience, and that's what it does. So what's good about this game? There's three main things in my opinion. The first is the visuals, just the overall presentation on a visual level, camera angles, everything about this in terms of its visual production is stellar. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very similar to Journey in terms of its art style and aesthetic, but I love that. It works beautifully here. You will spend a lot of time looking at some nice stuff, taking screenshots, because it looks that damn good. The soundtrack is also phenomenal. It's an orchestral track that's been very clearly designed to accompany the story, accompany each scene, every experience you have in the game. It works extremely well. I can't recommend that enough either. And finally, the storytelling. Now this is told via the environment, via some certain paintings on walls, via creatures you interact with, and just the objects and things you encounter as you progress through the game. There's no voice acting, there's no written dialogue, nothing like that. It's just pure environmental storytelling. Now, unlike Inside, say, that's very vague and asks a lot of questions and doesn't really answer any of them, this game just asks you a very basic question. Go from point A to point B. Oh look, there's a bad thing. Let's deal with the bad thing. You've dealt with the bad thing. That's it. You know, very simple storytelling, but it's effective. It gives me a goal. I feel empathic connections to certain characters and certain events that are happening in the game. I want to do the thing I'm being told to do for certain story reasons, and then the game ends, and that's it. It was very satisfying. There was nothing vague about it. I fully understood what was going on. I loved it from a story perspective. So, the visuals are fantastic, the soundtrack is fantastic, the storytelling is fantastic. What's bad about it? The main complaint I imagine many people are going to have is the length and replay value of this title. It took me about an hour and a half to beat it. Now for $20, a lot of people are going to find that to be completely unacceptable when it comes to a game, and I respect that. I understand that position. I personally don't mind. If a game is good or an experience is good, regardless of the price, I don't care. How long it is, I don't care. But for a lot of people out there who are looking for value, this may not be satisfactory to them, and I understand that. So if you are one of those people, keep that in mind. Another problem the game has is it doesn't have much in terms of replay value. You can go back and find some collectibles, you can find these certain meditation shrines, but there's no real incentive to do that unless you're an achievement hunter, and that's really it. Once you've played this game, you're kinda done. The final thing I have a problem with when it comes to this game is the complete lack of challenge. There are some environmental puzzles to solve, but most of the time it just involves swimming to a certain location and activating a button. I think they could have done a little more here to make it actually more of a game and less of a just, point A to point B narrative experience that could have satisfied people who prefer mastery in their games and challenge and failure states. That being said, there is also no failure state. I tried intentionally to die at one point where it seemed to be threatening death, and I couldn't die either. So it's one of those games. If you don't like walking simulators, like vehemently dislike them, you will probably not like this game. However, if you are open to them, and you've played some in the past that maybe you've enjoyed, or you played Journey and you like that game, you will very likely love this game. Should you buy it? In my opinion, yes. I think it's fantastic. I think it's worth the money for the experience. However, if you're strapped for cash, I would strongly urge you to wait for a sale, because as a value proposition, it is difficult to recommend. If you don't like these types of games, this isn't going to change your mind, but if you do, it's one of the best of its kind to date. If you found this video helpful or useful in some way and you want to support my channel, you can do so by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. If you want to support me financially, you can do so via Patreon. You will find a link to that in the description box below. Thank you once again for watching. I will see you guys next time.